Hello everybody and welcome back to part 3 of the MG Barbatos GUNPLA build here on the channel. In this video we're going to be looking at how we've taken the kit from this to this by adding some custom panel lines and grey primer. And with the magic of video editing, let's give this place a little clean. If you enjoy the video today, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, and if you really like it, well, also give us a like. Okay, so rather than show 40 plus hours of scribing footage in the previous video, I thought I'd skip ahead and wait until I had it all finished, and then I can show you the finished line work instead of repetitive process. On the V-fin right here, added a line on this side, also on this side, and this was also added on the back side as well, so that whenever I mask this off it will hopefully look a bit more realistic. One issue that I've had with this is the plastic right here is really thin, so I just have to be super careful. We have another line right here just to add some separation in the V-fin. Again, that's on both sides. Also, we have the line here. It's quite a small piece, but I'm fairly happy with the quality of the line work right there. So as you can see, just added in extra line work here just to let the panel wash that we're going to add after painting sink in and add a little bit more definition to this. I also took away some material from this yellow vent in here just to make it stand out a little bit more. It was kind of unevenly sitting in there, so I wanted to just add a bit of clearance and make this pop out a little bit. I've also tried to sharpen up a lot of elements, so I made this sharper. I also sanded the V-fin a little bit, and I've also sanded along here, so just trying to make the whole head unit look a little bit sharper and just a little bit more badass. On the collar as well, I just added 2 lines just to separate the colour on this. Probably not see it very much, but I wanted to add it in anyway. Added in some line work along here. Separated this as well, just to make things a little bit more dynamic. Also here and here. So all of the line work isn't perfect, and I'm not ashamed to admit my mistakes. You can see here this line and this line, they're not really in line with one another. I could have done a bit more to measure this before cutting, but I was a little bit impatient at this stage, so that's just something that me personally, I can look out for this stuff in the future and only try and make the custom scribing that I do a little bit better as I progress and I practice a little bit more. So you can always make your work better no matter who you are, I believe. I modified this shoulder piece to have a line coming down here separating, replicated this on the back side. Also added a small split line along here, a line here, here. I sanded this away to completely separate those 2 pieces so that we could see some of this yellow piece that's underneath. It should look pretty nice when you have some colours under here kind of shining through. I just used the scribe to go in around the existing lines and make them a little bit deeper, so that when I put the panel wash in here, things will pop out a little bit more. Another very minor detail was I just sanded this piece of blue plastic back so that we could see some of what was underneath. It's really not much, but I just think whenever everything's painted, I don't want to lose too much of the inner frame. I'd like to see little glimpses of it popping through. We've also got some separation here, right here. I think it's definitely worth taking my time to do these small bits, and it's going to make a big difference on the finished kit. We have some line work here and here just to separate this one piece of plastic one line that runs up here and runs along as it meets the chest. This line right here. Got one right here, one here, and one here. You can see slight lines just around the outside of this additional piece that I sanded up and stuck down, so hopefully, I'm not really sure if that's going to look good or not, but we'll find out, and if it looks like shit I can always try and fix it up a little bit. Redefine this, and also in here. For the side skirts, again I just used the existing edges and made them pop out a little bit more. On the front part of the waist I just ran across here to make it stand out. I also shaved off some of the yellow just to make that pop a little bit more, give it a little bit of clearance. Ran across here with the scribe and in here, and also a little bit of panel separation just along here. You can see the detail that I've added to the crotch piece underneath. I don't even know what this is called, but yep, it's there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. Quite a lot of detail going on in there. And on the backside skirts, again some interesting detail. Removed this material here just so that we could see some of what's going on underneath. So yeah, it's a wee bit untidy, but I can maybe fix that up before painting. Some lines here. This was a really tricky piece to get right as it ran over the edge here to try and keep things as straight as possible. It's not perfect, but I'm happy enough with it for now, and hopefully all of the small mistakes will get covered up. Another line here, here, just right in here, ran across the edge of the existing plastic again, and then from this view just ran them out to make some kind of V-shaped motif. This was one piece before, but I took it apart and used this guy right here to cut it right up, sanded it back, tidied it all up, and created this pretty interesting significant parting line right here. Got some more that run down here and here, some on the side, some on the back, and if I pop this off you can see I still left one of these in order for it to connect successfully right here. I left 3 here. They connect here, here, and here, and the top piece connects to this guy, plus there's the 2 slots right here, so everything can still snap together really well. I don't need to worry about stuff falling off or not being assembled correctly. So yeah, this took a little bit of pre-planning, but that's what I did. If you want to try and do the same thing, I hope that makes sense. Simple line just here to split this entire panel up a little bit. Did that on all 4 of them, as you can see here and here. Ran up from the existing geometry here across and then connected to a little piece that was already existing, so I think that looks fairly good. It looks intentional. Created a separate panel right here, added some line work here to create a separate panel on the front, and that runs all the way around. We have the panel again on this side. Also on the feet, we did have a piece of plastic that was in here, but I completely removed that in order to make this piece look a bit more menacing. Yeah, I think it's a good job, and it lines up quite well with the extra line work that I put behind. So yeah, it should look pretty good when it's done. Simple line work back here, up here. These lines here in particular were quite tricky to get even. I made a mistake on the other foot where I have one less panel than this one, but for the most part I'm happy with it. So yeah, I ran the lines down along here, trying to keep them as consistent and the same thickness as possible. This was another pretty complicated piece to get right, but I think it's turned out okay. It should look really nice when it's finished. So what I'm going to do now is continue to take this apart into its individual pieces and get ready for priming. Okay, so for priming this guy, I'm gonna stick with the tried and true Mr. Colour leveling thinner with the Mr. Surfacer 1000. So I'm going to mix these with a 1 to 1.5 ratio, so for every 10 milliliters of primer that I use, I'm going to use 15 milliliters of the self-leveling thinner. And what I'm going to do is mix it up inside of one of these glass jars. It's an old bottle of self-leveling thinner that I had. This holds 110 milliliters. Okay, I think that's probably enough. Pop this lid back on, nice and tight. Shake it up real good. And now we have approximately 100 milliliters of thinned Mr. Surfacer 1000. Lovely. So my weapon of choice for the priming is the Badger 105 Patriot. It's a really simple and effective airbrush. It's quite easy to keep clean, and yeah, it's served me well so far, so this is what I'll be using again for this kit. I use one of these guys, put my pretty little face in here, keep the lungs nice and healthy. Very, 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 very important. Get yourself one of these or something similar. And if you're concerned about your eyes, you can just get something like this and pop it on just to keep them bulbs nice and clean. Just be careful. And there we have it. Fully scribed, fully primed, and completely assembled. And in the next video, I'm going to be applying some paint, some decals, and the finishing touches. Until then, stay safe and happy building.